Slide 1A in the press packet will show a picture of what one of these objects looks like. This is a T-shaped object, which is approximately a sonometer in each direction, covered with a very strange biological coating. A coating that is so strong that when the object is freshly removed, you can't cut through it with a surgical blade. The next slide is slide 1B. Shows another kind of an object that we remove, another metallic rod, which is also covered with a similar dark gray impervious membrane. And this material is also very strong, and you can't cut through it with a surgical blade. We have, at the present time, with our 15 surgeries, we have approximately 7 of these objects in which you could line them up on a surgical drape. You would not be able to tell one from the other. Next, we'll refer you to slide 2. Of the 15 surgeries that have been performed, we have submitted these not in totality but in piece, because we haven't had the funds to really go into this in a full-blown project. Fortunately, I was able to get assistance at one time through the National Institute for Discovery Science, and that was much appreciated. That's a Bob Bigelow enterprise, and I will always be indebted to him for his help with this. Now, there are some biological aspects which I have to mention at this time. If you get an object in you, you usually can see where it went in, a portal of entry, something that's a sonometer in various dimensions. Is a pretty big sized piece to get inside. You usually should be able to see where this went in. In none of these cases has there been a scar or an opening in the skin. All the individuals who allege have implants are submitted to some rigorous examination before we have anything to do with them. They must produce either on an X-ray or a CAT scan a viable object which is more radio dense than the surrounding area. We see when these have been removed and we examine the tissue pathologically that goes around the area, there has been absolutely no inflammatory or rejection reaction. This is within our technology not possible. The majority of these objects, as I described, are these small metallic rods covered with this very strange biological coating. And quite recently, we found out that, I hope you're all sitting down, that this biological coating seems to be growing from the metallic structure within. We believe that this biological tissue serves as a barrier so that the body does not reject the object or cause inflammation to occur. And as you can see, if we had the funds to back engineer this and find out how this works, it would be a tremendous boon to medical science, as we could wrap a transplant organ, a pin, a screw, or something of that nature, put it into the body, and the individual would no longer have to take immunosuppressive drugs for the rest of their lives.
But I will add this, that tens of thousands and thousands of reports are coming out. Many of them involve implants. Many of these have been analyzed. They come from the navel cavities, other parts of the brain, earlobes, arms, and what have you. It's extraordinary physical evidence. I point this out not because I believe it's necessary to confirm ET presence. That's been proven many times over. In fact, it was proven by 1952. But there are people who like that physical stuff. They want to see that. Well, there it is. So one can look into this at their leisure. Dr. Learwood and Alex will be available afterwards. All right, and you can question them then. Now, I'm going to bring this now to a close. Some housekeeping things very quickly. I believe, as I've said publicly on many radio and television programs, that the Obama administration, through the nature of who they have appointed and other indications and other information I'm receiving, has made a decision to disclose the ET presence. But that is, of course, an assessment. They are certainly not saying anything. Right? However, the window of opportunity is very, very wide. We are encouraging the administration, which has dedicated itself to open and transparent government, to commit the ultimate act of openness and transparency, and to do it immediately before this truth embargo becomes its embargo, and it has to explain its reasons for delay at a critical time in the human race's, how would you say, development on multiple fronts. If it does not disclose by the end of May, this is not a threat or anything, it's synthetic. Don't threaten the United States government, they're headed it on. But the first 100 days plus 30, because I have to admit this gentleman came into a rather extensive array of very profound problems. So we're providing an additional 30 days. If disclosure is not taking place, PRG has a substantial network and quite a bit of documentary evidence connected to this, particularly politically, particularly to the Rockefeller Initiative and the Clinton administration, and we are going to be extensively putting that out to the media. And we're just going to make it as difficult on them as possible. We don't want to, but sometimes that's necessary. And finally, if they choose not to disclose by the end of May and wait, maybe they want June, maybe July, or whenever it's convenient, there is a very real possibility, I believe above 50-50, that another nation will in fact act proactively on their own and disclose the extraterrestrial presence. And they will wake up and they will pick up the Washington Post or the Washington Times, and the headline will read, President Sarkozy of France today will tell the French people about the confirmation of an extraterrestrial presence and provide evidence from the French military files. And we will follow and they will lead. That's what's at issue today. I think it's a pretty big issue.